How do you recommend coaching a leader in a high-stress situation on something that is actually counterintuitive? Do you have any tricks or tips to get them over the hump?
Yeah. The first is many individuals in leadership positions have backgrounds, technical backgrounds, and so first is to understand your audience. The stakeholder is the leader. So if they have a science background or an engineering background, I would make sure that I would share to them as part of the coaching what the science has to say about the issue, so that they can now recognize that there's a science grounding to what you're about to share. One of the problems in communication is that communication, this is the old comedian, doesn't get respect. It's something we all do every day. The implication is of a leader that they've been doing it. How do they get to the high level position? And so therefore there's a challenge just to get their attention, let alone to be respected as a source of information. And one way that I found for coaching is to lay out the research basis for the communication science field. That what you're sharing is not just a personal opinion, it's not just conventional wisdom, but it's science-based. And that usually leads to greater receptiveness to the information. So that's the first step in coaching, is convince the person that you have the skills necessary and value added over above it. The second is I often show videotapes, and when I start sharing the principles based on science, I will show videotapes of people using the skill or not using the skill, and a leader can often identify with that person. They can say, "There, but for the grace of God go I." So, and you show good and bad examples, and this gives them a bit of a distance to be able to think about the principle, to see people in their same position, their peers, doing it or not doing it well, and so it's almost like the agricultural extension model. You show people, other people doing it or not doing it with consequences, and then the third stage is to give them the practice to be able to implement these skills in their communication. So part of the coaching is to ask them, well, what are the questions and concerns that you believe would happen in this scenario, how would you respond to it? Here are the science-based templates to respond. Let's try it, let's practice it. It's almost like, then you're almost like learning tennis. You know the skills, you go out and practice, you make mistakes, you practice again. But here's something critical. We have a list in one of the documents I wrote of 33 qualities for a spokesperson. What does it need? What does a spokesperson need to be effective? It's based on analysis we did of spokespersons for crisis situations. And there are 33 attributes that's necessary for a spokesperson to be effective. Example one, they have to be able to simplify information. They have to be able to take complex information and put it into a very simplified format, sometimes as much as 6th to 8th grade. Not every individual has the ability to do that. So a leader would have to recognize, do I have that skill to be able to simplify and feel comfortable providing that simplified information? A second skill, keep it short. I shared in the presentation that the media typically use sound bites, 27 words, 9 seconds, 3 messages. Can the leader respond to a question with only 27 words, 9 seconds, 3 messages, or do they ramble on, putting themselves at risk of getting quoted or misquoted because only parts are taken out? So you go through each of those qualities. Can they keep it simple? Can they keep it short? Can they maintain their composure if they're attacked? That's another of these 33 attributes of a leader as a communicator. So if I would, for example, be talking to you about an issue and then suddenly I become aggressive as a reporter, and I said, let's say it's a drug recall, I say to you, well, I don't know how you sleep at night. You've given me technical answers to my questions, but knowing that there are people who are dying because of your drug, children who are dying, which makes you a criminal and a baby killer. How do you sleep at night? How do you talk to your children knowing that you're a baby killer and criminal? Well, one of the qualities they have to have is the ability to withstand that type of aggressive approach and respond using one of the templates that come from the literature. Not every person can maintain their composure. Some people could take it very personally. They can't maintain the distance. So those are just 3 examples. Keep it simple, keep it short, and maintain your composure. And there's still 30 qualities left that I would have to go through before I would choose a leader as a spokesperson.
Wow, thank you.